First thing that you're going to want to do is go ahead and create your document. So we'll end up going File New. There were some issues with 6 Hour. They weren't changing their stuff over to inches. So make sure you're going in and changing your units of increment so that you are inside of inches. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you change the number of columns so that you are reading at 3 and that your gutters are 0.25. And then click OK. We don't need to worry about facing pages because this is only going to be a one-page document. From here, let's kind of take a look at some of the different pieces you're going to have to make. We can make some notes along the way. First thing, let's get that color out of the way. So like I said, you need to have that Pantone color. In order to make a new color swatch, what we need to do is go to our swatches panel. And if we look at it really close, there's a drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner. If we click on that, we want to go to New Swatch. So that may be a set of keys you want to write down. To get to it, you go to New Color Swatch. Once you click on that, you're going to get a separate dialog box to pop up. And from here, there's where you see color mode. We can choose what type of color mode we would like to work in. So we're going to click that, and we want to go choose the Pantone Solid Coated. You're probably going to want to write that down because there's a lot of different options inside of there. Pantone Solid Coated. Once you click on that, what you'll see is you'll get a bunch of these very specific spot colors that show up here in this box. Instead of scrolling through it, the easiest thing to do is go ahead and type in the number you're looking for. We're looking for 314C. The sheet says V. We don't have that color book loaded, so we're just going to go with this one. And then you go ahead and click OK. Notice what happened. It has now become a swatch on our swatches panel. So now that we've got our color straightened away, we can go ahead and start making some text. Some of the issues that I saw from last hour, people typing everything out, is that they weren't following the right case. So make sure that if it's in capitals, that you type in capital letters so that everything looks correct. I also want you to change your font to Helvetica. There's Helvetica, and it also wants you to change the style. So to change the style within inside of the actual font, you just click on the drop-down menu here, and you can choose the different pieces. If we hover over top of these tools here, it'll tell us what they do. If you look at the directions, it says that it wants you to have a 90% scale on the horizontal for the text. So I just changed that to 90 and click OK. If you don't change that, your text eventually won't fit inside of the box. So there's my base color. It also wants it to be yellow if you look at the details of it. So with that, we're just going to choose the regular yellow. So if I wanted to apply a drop shadow to this, where would I go? Anybody got an idea? What? Yes, I would go to Effects. So let's go here, take a look at this. There's Effects. I click on that. What can we gather from right now? If I go ahead and apply my effect, what is it going to get applied to? Going to be applied to my object because that's the part that's highlighted. If I want to come in here and I want to double click on the words text, by double clicking on that, it will only affect the text portion. It won't affect the container. Here's the important piece when working with this. Don't click on the little box to the left of the style you're trying to apply. Click on the actual words. What that will do is change this area right here, the actual preferences for it. So you've got this color swatch. Click on it once and it will allow you to change it. And since we already made that Pantone color, we can come down and we can choose that. But if we compare the screen to what it looks like on the piece of paper we're trying to match, you notice our text is kind of blurry. We want to avoid that. So we change the options to size to 0. And you notice how it, sharp right away. We can change the distance that it is away from the text by changing the X and the Y offset. Get that set and click OK. So there's that one piece there. The next piece, I can't really demo with the triangle. I can't. I'll go get it. So it's going to ask you to get the triangle. So we're going to go File, Place. I'll navigate out to the P drive real quick and get the files for you guys. So these are the files that are inside of the folder. You've got the 2 text files, and then you've got the other pieces. We're going to go with the triangle right now. Click open. Oops, it went into the box. Control Z, paste it off to the side. It says on the directions that it needs to be scaled to 110%. So you can scale an object when you place it by using percentages rather than, if I came out here, I could click on it and I could make the box a little bit bigger. But if I look up top here, I've got these percentage boxes up here. If I just type in 110% and push enter, it made it 110% larger. But you notice it goes back to a relative number of 100, so make sure you just can't minus 10 to get to where it was originally. But then you'll place that into place. Some of the other harder pieces on there that may be a challenge would be that line that goes across the top of the screen. You're going to have to create that using just the regular line tool to hold shift to make a straight line. On the sheet, it doesn't tell you the weight for it, but I'll go ahead and give that to you right now. You want that to be an 8-point line. You may want to write that down. You want that to be an 8-point for its stroke weight. If you look, there's this box on there. It says your name in 50% tint in this box right now. So tint. Most of us, our original idea probably to fix this would be to draw ourselves the box, and we want to then make it yellow because that's what it is essentially, right? Well, what I saw happening was people would come in here and they would come up to opacity and they would just knock it to 50%. It looks just like it should on the sheet. Problem with just changing the opacity though is you allow whatever is behind it to come through because you're changing the density of the color essentially. We want to change that back to 100. That's how we want it to be. We don't want that black line to come through. So what we need to change actually is over here on the swatches panel. You need to change the tint to 50. Click that, and I back up, and you can see now all I've done is essentially I've added white to that color. So when it says to tint a color, it means you're adding white to it. It means you're not making it more opaque or less opaque. It means that you're going to be adding more white to the color. What else is on here that's somewhat difficult? When you place the fish, you've got to go to text wrap. I'll just kind of show you the box you're going to have to click on. When you place the fish on there, you're going to want to click on the third text wrap option, and that's going to be a round object shape. You're going to wrap around object shape. And then it's also going to, you're going to have to change the contour options to say detect edges. So contour options and detect edges is what you're going to want to do. One of the last things we got to talk about is the text on the page. So you've got 3 columns of text being created there. The first 2 are going to be what's called linked. We're going to have these text boxes are going to share the same text. I'm going to go ahead and put some just filler text into this box here so I can show you how linking text boxes work. I'm going to insert with some placeholder text. I'm going to shrink this up so it's the width of a column. And you notice, what does this little red box mean in the corner? Anybody know? What? Okay, so it means overset text. So that means that I don't have enough space for the amount of text that I have inside of that container. So what I need to do is click on that little red box and just click in the next column right here. It will automatically make the text box for you. You can see I've actually got a little more still hanging out the back side, but for right now it doesn't make a difference. The cool thing about linking text boxes is if I delete some of the text or push enter, you see how it grows? So they're linked. They're working together, but they're in separate areas. That's the linking text box portion. The paragraph alignment it's going to ask you is over here. If you hover over the top of the icon, it will tell you which type of paragraph style it is, and it's going to have you do a drop cap eventually. Drop cap is located in paragraph panel as well. You just highlight the one that you want to put a drop cap on. So I'll highlight that real quick. Come over here, put my drop cap on. You can see how it increases that one case. You've also got some other pieces in here that it's going to ask you. So if you look at that right-hand column, the one that's in black, you can see how it's kind of in a little bit. It's squished. The only way we're going to see this take place is if I add some color to this real quick. No, you're going to copy and paste it in. Makes it much easier. So I'll highlight this real quick. Over here, you got what's called space after, so you can increase that. You can see how the text is, the blocks are coming farther apart, because that's where hard return was used. You've got padding as well on the sides. You can use that to increase it, and you see how the one column on the right there, on the left, I mean, it's getting more space right here. So that's how I created that text that looked like it was inset a little bit. And that was all done through the paragraph panel. I think that probably covers everything. The line that comes down into the fishing hook, you have to draw another line there. And just pick a stroke weight for that. But your goal is to recreate this to look exactly like this. But where it says your name in here in 50% tint, you type your name there. Just choose Helvetica for that font. Yes. Which line? The vertical line you have to create using the line tool. The horizontal line will be there on the graphic when you import it. Yes, the hook will be part of the fish image. Any other questions? All right, it's all you. Let me